Greetings and salutations. My name is Tish, and welcome to the Artist Haven, where home plus art equals heart. In today's live video broadcast, it is learn with us, coffee with us, have some fun with us with my master of mischief, or I should say mistress of mischief, Miss Clara Lawrence. Good morning, Clara. How are you?
Howdy.
Howdy. How are you this morning?
As we've been saying on Artapalooza,
So, how are you?
pretty good. I'm actually awake, believe it or not. Well, mostly. Mostly.
Mostly?
Yeah, I woke up to the kitty cat this morning going, feed me. Go outside. No, feed me.
Yeah.
And then the brain
we keep our bedroom door closed so Rhea can't do that.
Mine would destroy my house. She's
still kind of mellow yet. So, anywho, today we're going to go over Dutch pours because it's acrylic day today. Next week is resin, and I'm terrified. But
no. Hey, I'm looking forward to this.
I do look forward to it because I do want to learn, but you can tell my whole persona changes when I do resin because I'm like super uber focused and I'm like, okay, you got this. Mike from Stone Coat is in my head. You got this. You got this.
Okay. You want to see something funny?
Over.
Okay. So here's my cup.
So we're going to do some Dutch pours, and if you watched previous acrylic pouring on Thursday, we went over consistency and Dutch pour or blow pour, the blow using any kind of manipulation with air, is going to have the same consistency as the Dutch pour. To me, there's a difference between a Dutch pour and just a regular blowout. Dutch pour for me is you use a base color, you put down your primary colors, and then you take your base color and you envelop your primary colors with that, and you blow it over and you blow it out. That to me is a Dutch pour because I have used, hair dryers and air compressor, air guns to manipulate paint forever, and it's its own thing, and it still no matter which way you do it, it still boils down to consistency. You want your base color to be super thin so you can get that that blowout movement, and you want your colors to be just slightly thicker or the same consistency. It depends on who you are and what works for you. For me, I like them to be just a tad bit thicker than my base color. And you can use any color as your base color that you want. You don't have to do just white or just black. I've done Dutch pours in all metallics. I've done them in black and silver and gold and bronze and as my base colors.
That makes sense why the colors then kind of sink and you kind of blow and bring them to the surface and stuff.
Yeah, you bring them back out. You're manipulating the paint to do what you want it to do, even though it's saying, wait, I'm a teenager, I'm going to do what I want to do. So that's kind of, and then you get the toddler temper tantrum sometimes, and it's just practice. Mm-hmm. Dutch pours, Dutch pours are kind of like bloom pours and resin for me. It's like I just need to practice. I just need to find my comfort area where I kind of know what I'm doing and find some success with it, and then just build off of that success. That's anything in art. You don't pick. I don't know very many people that can pick up a pencil and draw the perfect person. Photograph quality type drawing. I don't know. There are a handful of people that do have that.
Yeah, that's
talent.
True.
But I am not that person, and and I don't even think even if I practiced for years if I could ever get that because I just it's just not my thing. I don't have the patience for that. So Anyway, we're gonna go over the consistencies here.
Okay.
The I had some left over that I'm gonna add, we're gonna use. I had some left over from a Dutch pour. I take my regular, my regular mix of color, and I just add some Floetrol and water to it. I have my bottle here of 50% water and 50% Floetrol. You don't have to do that. Okay, you don't have to do it my way. I'm not going to be offended if you just add water.
Well, I'm taking your class, so maybe I should do it your way. So I'll be right back. I'm going to get a bottle.
I just do it this way because I want to keep the consistency of tea. I forgot she has to take her earbuds out. Are you back? Oh, nope, she's not back. There she is. Earbuds go. I forget you have to take your earbuds out.
Yes, well, it's my little leash. It's either that or everybody else goes for a run through the studio with me.
So what I do is I do 50% water and 50% Floetrol. And the only reason why I do that is because sometimes I add a lot of fluid to it. Okay, because sometimes my paints thicken up over time because the water evaporates and they slightly kind of dry, but not really dry. And most manufacturers say to only add 10 to 30% water. So if I'm starting off with 50, with a diluted Floetrol, then I'm mathematically speaking, and I suck at math, but I did the math. With this, I would have to add almost 3 ounces of this to an ounce of paint before it came to that 30%.
So about 6 ounces of this mixture be okay?
Yeah, you'll be fine if you do 3 and 3. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're only going to add maybe a tablespoon at most to any mix. And I do that because I found that Dutch pours dry really quickly. And if I put just straight up water in them, I'll get that crazy crackling look. And sometimes that's what I want. So sometimes I'll just use water. But for the most part, I don't want that crazy crackly, cracks in my paint. So I've learned to use this, and that problem disappears.
There we go.
So that's been for me. First up, before we get really, really started, let me say hello to the people in chat. Hello, Cheryl. Good morning, Mr. Hyde. Hello, Sam from Twisted Art Lady. Good to see you. And my old neighbor, Doris. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Shading of the Heart. I can't remember your name, honey.
Hello, everybody.
But I'll get it. Okay, so what we want to do. Okay, so this is my mix of this dark silver from last night. And I've used these little red shot cups because this is my normal mix. And then I always mix my Dutch pours in the little red shot cups. And I put press and seal on the top. You can use the little portion cups if you want, but I find these are easier to handle for me. And also my big fat sticks fit in them better because I use the big fat sticks. So.
Okay.
And then what I do is I fill it about, not quite half, I fill about half full of paint.
Okay.
Okay. And then that'll give me room to add the water. But then also if I add too much of my water and Floetrol mix, I can put more paint in there.
Okay.
And,
so
it gives me room to play. So that's why I do it this way. And then that way I always have, this I can use on a regular painting, and I only have this little bit that I'm using for my Dutch pours. And I do keep them covered in press and seal, and I have a 9x12 baking pan that I got at the thrift store for 99 cents or something. And I keep all my Dutch pour paints in there. So that way when I go to do a Dutch pour, I have everything already. I just have to double check consistencies.
Okay, hold please. I need to get my itty bitty cups.
Okay. There's my lid. Okay, we're going to put that up there. I don't remember where it's at.
Okay. That was fortunately behind me.
There you go. Okay, so I take the bottle, I shake it up, and I count off. I squeeze for about a count of 2 to 3. I'm like 1, 2, 3, and then I stir it and see where I'm at for consistency. And here is where your consistency. This is where you're going to go you're going to go trace of 1, and even just totally if it you're barely a 1, you're right on your target.
Okay, so back it up a little bit. I think our internet's getting a little faulty or something. I missed out a little bit. So you fill it up about halfway with your paint. Yep. And then about how much Floetrol and water do you add?
I do like a quick 1, 2, 3. I squirt it in there, go 1, 2, 3. So maybe like a teaspoon.
Okay.
Half a teaspoon. This is a little bit thin.
So this isn't a scale operation then. I can get rid of my scale.
Yeah, I didn't know if you'd have paints already mixed up, but you came prepared, lady.
Yeah.
So you want it, the colors that you're going to be using in your actual pour, or what I call the primary colors, for your painting, you want it to be about a count of 1, okay? And your background color, you're going to have it be almost like water. I mean, I say almost, because you want to have a little bit of consistency.
Okay.
So here you're going to have it. It's going to make a triangle at the bottom of your pour back into your stick, and it's going to disappear in a count of 1. So you're going to get that one little loop, little loop, and that's where you want to be. So all your colors that you're going to use in your pour, you want it to be that consistency. So that one's done. And then I'll move on to the white. I'm going to use white or black. I haven't decided yet. So we'll mix up both. And I do, because they're a background color, I do them in a bigger cup. And this is the white that I used last night for Artapalooza. So it's got all the shiny bits in it. So because this is a bigger cup, I think these are 4-ounce cups. I counted off a squirt of 5 because I have more paint in here. But we'll just start off with that. I should be good.
So what's the difference between using Amsterdam and regular white?
You're going to get more for your background color, or for just in general?
Yeah, the background color.
You're still going to probably get some more cell action, because you're going to be blowing the white over the colors, and the white's gonna want to sink down because it's more dense. So you're gonna get more cell action with using an Amsterdam paint. I actually use a combination of house paint, the satin color place white, and titanium white. So I still get the cell happiness, but it's less expensive because I'm using, I do 3 parts house paint to 1 part titanium white, and then I mix those together, and then I mix that with Floetrol. So
I did get it for us to play with, so might as well use it, right?
Yep. And that way I'm saving a little bit of money when I'm just playing in paint. If I were to do like a commission piece, I would use the more higher end paints, because I want something that's gonna last 100 years. Yeah. But I don't even know if the United States is gonna last 100 years. YouTube's crazy. Presidential race is crazy. Coronavirus crazy.
I think you can pretty much label this year as crazy.
Yeah, this has been, I have
all
to say,
the storms and all that stuff going on.
There's another hurricane coming through, and my heart goes out to those people.
All the fires, just all kinds of crazy.
Fires, and people are just very rude because they're all cooped in from coronavirus. I feel for people that have health issues going on right now that aren't COVID related, because it's just harder than heck to get any kind of help with the COVID overtaking the hospitals. I mean, if you break your foot, you're going to run the risk of getting COVID, because you got to go in a COVID infested area. And I mean that with all the heart, love in my heart, I don't want anybody to have to go through that, but.
Yeah, let alone the people who are not getting help because they're scared. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want to go in, and here's my thing, and this is why we're doing the fundraiser, which I will post the link to the form for that. We're doing a fundraiser charity auction on the 28th of November for the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, because I personally have used that lifeline. And I know with all the COVID stuff going on and the holidays coming up, it's going to be crazy for a lot of people. And
a lot of people are struggling with mental issues right now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm grateful this year. I have my family, I have my kids, and I have Michael, and I have his family, and I have a support system. But a lot of times in my life, I got all you guys, and I'm just so grateful. But there's a lot of people out there that don't have this, and there are times in my life where I didn't have this, and so I've reached out to them myself. So if I can do it, and you're feeling down, or you just need someone to talk to because you're just so overwhelmed, call them. That's what they're there for. And they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, holidays included. And the link, their phone number and the link to their website is on every single one of my videos. Every single one.
I ought to do that too.
Because it's so important.
Well, just that and the impact it has on the family. I mean, hubby and I and my son were hanging out on the porch after your live yesterday.
Yeah.
And just talking about going through healing and all that from our suicide situation.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was 8 years ago, and we're all like boo-hooing on the porch. And I mean, it's still it's terrible.
And, I do it because I have family that have been suicidal. I actually had a friend of mine that did commit suicide, and I've been there myself, and it's not that you're weak. It's not that you are, wrong. If you don't go through something like that, at least for 5 minutes of your lifetime, then you have no right to judge anybody.
Yeah.
Because not everybody is all rainbows and sunshine all the time. Life is not like that. But you are strong enough to get through it. And I tell people, if you're feeling that way and you just want some stranger to talk to, because sometimes that's easier, is just to talk to a stranger, because they don't know you. They don't record the video. They don't record the conversation. They care about you because you're another human being, but they're not going to go check on you. They're not going to, they're not going to, backtrack your story and whatever and put it on the nightly news or, whatever.
Yeah, as our therapist said, it's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And yeah,
and you're gonna, even if you don't have any family. That
will impact somebody.
That will hurt. You will hurt somebody. You will affect somebody. You matter. And I'm not saying that to be, it's cliche and it's it is what it is, but it's true.
Yeah, we had kids that we weren't expecting much of a reaction from, drop out of college and just almost become stagnant at home for a couple of years, just trying to cope with it, just trying to find out what to do.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we're doing the fundraiser. And after we're done playing and paint here, I'll post it in chat and I'll also put it on all the social medias and stuff. Because this is we had raised $1,000 for Scares That Care, and that was just a fun little thing to do. And I just wanted to see if it was possible, and you guys stepped up to the plate and just made it happen. I was so excited, and I just was like, yeehaw. But this got a little too thin, and I don't have any more of this paint. Shoot.
Okay, lady, I got to get you back onto the the class here.
Yeah, I'm mixing up paints.
I am too. So I mixed up a batch of the Amsterdam white just because I got to play with it. You know, I'm an artist, so I like to play with all the colors and all the paints. Yeah. So this is the base color that I assume you're talking about for the background and such.
Yep.
So how thin do we want to go?
The base color you want to go so let's see. How is the best way to explain it?
And I'm assuming we're watering it down with the Floetrol and water mixture.
Yep, you're going to water it down with that. So what you want to do, hang on, I already did my base colors, but I mixed up black because black seems to show better sometimes. But I mixed up black and white. Let me put this off to the side because that's my other color that's actually really good right now. I'm going to see if I can get white to show. If not, you see how it just runs in, but it doesn't make a dent?
Nope, can't see it. You're off the screen.
All right, there we go. You see how it runs off, but it doesn't make a dent?
All right, so super fluid. Okay.
So yeah, super fluid, but not so fluid it makes a dent. So it's not, it's like super heavy cream. I'm gonna see if the black shows a little bit. Maybe your black will show a little bit.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. So you're running right off. I mean, you're not even it just automatically disappears when you do the circle.
So it's at an It's not like really at a 1. It's
It's like you know. So yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's mix this guy up. Oh, Shading of the Heart says, now watching my daughter struggle with the same issues just breaks my heart. So yeah, it affects more people than we realize. And mental health is a thing, okay, people? It is a thing. It is a very important thing. And, we need to remove the stigma of mental health issues.
Yep.
And, and love each other and be there for each other. And I always tell my friends, if you need someone to talk to, call me.
I should do a video talking about that and how that affects so much.
Yeah, and I remember the story. Yeah, I remember you went into it with our Tish talk that we had.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, after that live, I just went into my room and I cried. I was
no.
Well, no, because it's just like you don't realize how many people out there that this suicide and mental health really affects. And it was actually tears of relief. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like a sad cry. It was like, I am not alone. And
yeah,
that's going to be the hashtag for our giveaways for the charity auction.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have some giveaways, and I'm going to get one really good. I'm going to try and get some really good ones, not just. I mean, I guess I'm going to give away some of my art, a necklace or something, but I'm going to work on getting some other cool stuff. So,
something to look at to.
Well, something that
you're not alone.
Yeah, but that's the hashtag. The hashtag that for the live auction will be "You Are Not Alone."
Mm-hmm. I think that's good.
It'll be fun. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to raise money for a very important cause. You can tell I'm passionate about it. Okay, so I got my swirly gig here, so I'm gonna tape down this cup because otherwise I'll knock it over. And I got my files here already. I had to go out to Studio B this morning, and it was 39 degrees here, and I'm like, word. And then I looked at my phone, and in Anoka it was like 28, and I'm like, okay, like okay, I can handle this.
So you ran out to the studio.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I was telling Michael, I was like, I'm from Minnesota. When it gets to be 60 below, then we'll talk about cold. So I just is like, I can handle this. I don't like being cold. I don't know. I mean, there are people out there that are just love the cold because they're always so warm blooded and whatever. And I'm like, yeah, dude, no.
Okay, I got a funny story about cold. So hubby wears shorts pretty much year round, and even when it's cold outside, he'll wear shorts. It's like we went somewhere down to UT, and we're walking on the campus and such, and apparently there was a big old football game going on. And this woman was coming back, and it was kind of windy too. He did have a coat on. He had shorts, but he had a coat on. And she made a point of coming way out of her way over the bike. And she's like, "You are making me cold. Put some clothes on." And she had a big old fur coat and the whole bit. She was not happy with him.
Well, and I lived in Houston for a minute. And when I was down there in December, and I had just left 3 feet of snow and negative 30 degrees. I got there and I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt. It's like 45, 50 degrees. So for me, that's a 70-degree difference,
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, well, hey, I'm just going to, wear it. And everybody looked at me like I was insane. They were wearing parkas and hats and gloves. And I'm like, dude. I will say that the cold is different down south, down here. I'm in southern Illinois now. And, in Houston, it's very humid. And that humid cold is much different than the dry cold up in Minnesota and, northern states.
I only recently discovered what you're talking about there. We did a trip to Colorado, and I experienced it there, and I know it. Yeah, it's weird. It's
different. It's still flipping cold.
It doesn't go through. It doesn't go through your body so intensely.
Right. It's still just. Anyway.
Okay.
So where are you at? Do you have all your colors thinned out?
My colors are mixed. Okay. My white's mixed. My tile is in front of me. And I'm like, come on, woman.
Well, I have my monitor. I have one monitor here that is for me, so I can see the chat and see the stream, what I'm streaming out. But the monitor that Michael uses is over there, and I have to kind of turn it at an angle so I can kind of see what's going on with you. So
no problem. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Step over a little bit to actually see what's going on. So
okay.
I maybe be a little bit more vocal, and I know you can handle that. So I can say that to you, Claire, because I love you and you know.
I know, it's okay. My hubby will tap me on the shoulder all the time. Loud. Loud.
Okay, so first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that our blowing device, whatever you may be using, a hair dryer, I'm going to be using my
ready.
That's yay! So you want to make sure it's plugged in and it's blowing appropriately. So
well, it's only got one setting, so I'm assuming like on is appropriate. So
on is appropriate, yes.
Okay.
But if you're doing a big canvas, you want to make sure that your hair dryer is plugged in, it's blowing appropriately, and also you want to blow. It's kind of like your heat gun when you're doing resin. You want to blow it off your canvas for a little bit to get all the dust boogers out, and make sure you're not contributing to any of that shenanigans.
Look at this. It's a brand new shiny blow dryer. There is like no paint on it. So.
I'm jealous. Mine has so much paint on it. I've actually considered getting a new one just because I'm afraid it's gonna go off. So, okay. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our base color and we're gonna put. And this is how I do this. Okay. This is how I do this. Play around with it. See what works for you. I've watched, what's her name? Rinska Gina. I've watched, Gina DeLuca. I've watched hundreds of videos on Dutch pours, and everybody does it just slightly different. And you just got to play with it until you find your technique, okay? And you use such little bit of paint, don't worry about wasting paint. Okay, just don't worry about it. And here's the thing too: if you're worried about wasting paint, go buy craft paints. Go buy the cheap paints and play around with it with just water. If you're just doing it on tiles and you just want to get your technique down, you know, mix it up to consistency, play with it on tiles. If you like it, you can keep it. If you don't, soak it off and get rid of it. So
you like it, you can keep it.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
but I do about 50-cent piece. If I'm working on tile, I do just about a 50-cent piece, a little bit bigger, and then I just spread it a boot and get it all on there. If I'm doing a big canvas, I'll do this part with the hair dryer. But since I'm just using a little tile, I just go over to the edges and I make sure I get my edges because you don't want to try and get that later.
Okay.
Because if you do end up liking it, you want to keep it, then you got to try and paint these stupid edges, and that's a pain in the butt. So I just make sure I get them all right away. That way I'm covered. Ha ha, pun intended. Okay. So, then you want to set that off to the side because you don't want to blow paint into it. I've done that, so learn from my mistake.
Oh, you're talking about the container white? Okay.
Yeah, the container
your
white.
base color?
Move your base colors off to the side. Your regular colors not so much because you can just mix it in there and it's probably fine. But white, yeah, white is white. Okay, so what I do is on your since we're working with such a little tiny canvas, you need literally 2 drops, like just blink of color. You do not need a lot of color because you're blowing this out and you want that faded look, that wispy stuff. So you start with 2 drops. You could always add more color, but unless you scrape this off, you can't take it away. I mean, you can kind of scrape an edge if you don't like that, put some more white on there, blow it out a little bit more. You know, you can play with it once you get the technique down, but do just a teeny tiny bit. I take a scoop on my stick. I wipe off the back side, and then I just do a little bit. Like literally, like that's even too much.
Oh, what I did? Okay. Whoops.
Oh no, even that, you know, there you go. You got 2 drops. You just on this tiny little canvas like this, yeah, you just
2
drops. And you can pile it on the colors. You can do a row of colors. You can do it however you like.
Okay. This is different for me from resin. Usually it's like throw the color at it, you know?
Yeah, this is one where you just want to use the less is more kind of philosophy. Oh, see, went a little heavy on that. Okay, and then we're going to take for the Dutch pour part of this. We'll do one where we don't put the white around it. You can see the difference. Now you're going to take your white. I use the stick because I have
excuse me.
And you're just going to circle around your circle with the white. And this is what we're going to blow over.
So put a ring around it?
Yeah, put a ring around it. Put a ring on it. And you don't want to do too much.
Oops. Okay.
I do like a 1 stick thing. I put a little bit more because I noticed that it was kind of bare right there. There's like a divot. So I put a little bit more down. Okay, so I'm not going to turn this on just yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to blow the white over the top of the
colors,
and then we're going to bring it straight down until we notice that the paint is starting to move, and then we just kind of flick it out and just kind of.
All right, I watch you.
Don't swish and flick, just flick. Okay.
I just bumped the camera. Sorry, guys.
So here I'm going to go around and blow the white over the color. Try to. And
Does it have enough of?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have almost too much of. So, so I also, if I notice that my paints are kind of like off center, and I want it more in the center, I'll use this time to kind of manipulate my paint back to where I want it.
Okay.
Okay. So I got my paint where I want it, and I got mostly covered, and now I'm going to come up and I'm going to wash my paint because you want to watch where you're blowing, and then you're just going to pick it out. And then you can kind of hit the edge and work the paint out.
Okay.
Because in this technique, your air is your paintbrush. And I don't really like the colors that I use. So that gray is really drab. And your color placement does have a role in the way things turn out. But I'm going to leave it at that. And you can tilt these. Don't be afraid to manipulate things the way you want them to be. I'm actually going to go back in there. Yeah. Come in. Step.
How do people blow this? No, I don't see.
I don't. I have too much hot. I always say I have too much hot air. It dries the paint right away. But yes, you can come in and just use a straw. You can put, and the other thing too is if you don't like a section, if you want to make like this section more wispy, you can go in and take just a tiny bit of white, put a drop right there, just like that. I don't know if you can see that, but see, I put a drop on there. You can see the drop, and then you can blow that into the painting or out of the painting, and you can. This is why I say playing in paint, because you just kind of play around with it and see, okay, if I do this, this is going to happen.
All right.
You just kind of manipulate the paint until it fits you what you want. And this is where you learn like how much paint you need to use. And I actually like that now with the dip in there. But see, I blew, you can kind of see where the dot was, but it doesn't look like a dot anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Does this self-level?
Most often it does. If your paints are not too thick. If your paints are too thick, that's where you're going to get the lumps and bumps and the chaos that can happen from a Dutch board. But for the most part, it does level.
I'm thinking this is too thick still.
Board. So yeah, just keep and if you don't like it, you just put dots of color where you think you need more color and blow it out. Just keep working it until you get something you like. Also, it'll dry a little bit differently, and I don't know why I'm playing with that right now. But and then when you get to where you kind of like it, torch it. See if you still like it.
I did not torch it.
And then
a lot more little dots show up too.
Yep, you get little freckles. And it opens it up some more. And as it dries, you're gonna have more cell and lacing production. you know, because your titanium whites is going to sink through. But, and then you can just, you know, play with the colors, play with how you lay them out, play with, you know, because that's where your composition is going to come from. And I'm actually going to put the silver on the back side this time. I put the silver on the top, and I don't really like that. Oops, I grabbed the black. Play with a different background color. The Massey fellas, Lee and Jeremy, did a Dutch pour blowout painting, and I want to say it was Lee that did it was like this periwinkle color. It was just beautiful. And it was just the colors that he used with all of it, and it was just amazingly beautiful. So play with different color combinations. Play in your paint, please. Don't, you know.
That is not a problem here.
When I was living in Anoka and I lived on my own, and I had me to take care of, and that was it. And it's like, okay, I could go out to eat, or I can buy paint.
Which is why all my shirts are like t-shirts, you know.
Yeah, and I could buy new clothes at at the mall or wherever, or I could just go to the thrift store and buy paint shirts, or go to the clearance section at Walmart or Target. But I made art a priority for me because it's been my therapy for so long. Being creative. I mean, I went to culinary school because I've been baking since I was knee-high to a grapefruit. I mean, I had an easy bake oven.
Did you really?
Yeah, and I used to bake little cakes for my dad.
Nice.
Yeah, and the neighbor kids sometimes. Usually they pissed me off, so they didn't get any. It was all for my dad.
It's amazing what you can do with a light bulb.
But yeah, so I love to bake. I love to be creative, and I turn on my music because I can't sing, so I turn it up really loud so people can't hear me anyway.
Yep.
So.
Well, that's what our director of our art department says. It's like, artists can't sing. I don't want to hear it. But we were allowed to bring the boom box and play the music. So.
Yeah. I mean, I sound better than some people. There's some people that can't carry a tune in a bucket, and I'm actually okay. I'm a little off key. Unless I'm singing, I have like a deep singing voice. I can't do the whole soprano thing. I'm more of like a alto, is it? I'm more of a Cher and Sheryl Crow than.
I kind of like that. This is fun.
Yeah, it's just play it in the paint. Just have some fun with it.
I could lose myself in this.
I have. If I didn't have other things to do today, like I got to get all this stuff done, I would stand here and just play in the paint until I didn't have any more paint, and then I'd probably mix up more. Because this is fun for me. And I just opened a new box of tiles, so I've got plenty.
Gotta break them in.
Well, and I kind of made a rule to myself. I said, okay, no more tiles until I make them all into coasters. Yeah, you can see how well that worked. Oh, there. Now see, I like this composition.
All right,
better.
Tish, what do you think? Can you see?
Hang on 1 second. Hang on 1 second. Oops, it's not happy. Oh, wow. See? You got this.
Yay! You're a good teacher.
You just have that. You have the natural flick and swish thing going on. Must be all the Harry Potter.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. I'm really not liking that silver and white. I'm going to try it with the black. We're going to go in here with some white.
Now, if you were to take something of a Dutch pour and do resin over it, what would you do to prep it?
Like if I like these, like these coasters, I do 2 coats of polyacrylic and a matte finish, so that way I don't have to go back and sand it. It's got enough tooth to it for the resin to stick. And then I just do 2 or 3 coats of really thin coats of resin over the top of it. So like if you found a background that you like say this is a background that you want to go back in and put some like chunky glitter on or something like that. I would do 2 coats of the polyacrylic, do a base coat, what do you call it? The skin coat, do that first, like a really thin coat of that, and then come in with your glitter and whatever, and then finish it off with another coat of resin or 2 to cover that glitter.
Okay.
That's how I would do it. I don't know if that's exactly right, but that's how I would do it.
Well, I was thinking of, this being like a first coat kind of a thing, and playing with the resin colors on top of it too. You know me, it's like, okay, how far can I take this?
Yeah. I know you. And you're like me though, you like to play.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it's like, maybe not. Oop, almost forgot the white. Whoops.
Yeah, I'm gonna try one in black just because I'm not liking this. I love the silver, I just don't like it with the white. Because it looks really gray. So I'm trying to get some of the. It just looks muddy gray, not a good gray.
Gotcha.
So I'm trying to that's why I kind of reworked this. Now I like it. These guys out there having like total canary. I got the.
We got quiet because we got serious. Which doesn't make for a good video.
No, and here, that's one of the things that I have kind of on the back burner right now because I've been working on this charity auction stuff, and then I had the fire sale, and then now I'm working on the other charity auction stuff. I actually have a folder of music that I want to bring in and have it playing in the background. It's all copyright-free music, and that way, so when it gets quiet like this, it's still that soft, chill.
There's something in there.
Yeah. So, okay, Michael went to go take care of the dog because he's just like going nuts. He's probably just barking at the leaves, but he's out there. I'm like, okay. Well, we had a skunk out there last night, so it's yeah. He must have been underneath the porch, or she. I don't know what it was, but because I go outside to vape, and oh my God, I thought I was gonna die. It was so strong.
So, does your dog go after the skunks?
No. At night we put him in the garage, so he's safe from any of the wildlife. So, and this was after dark. So this was after the light.
Well, I would encourage you to look up the Mythbusters skunk recipe,
Yeah.
and have those ingredients on hand because it works.
Really?
It absolutely works. Yeah, that tomato stuff doesn't work. All
No,
of that stuff
no,
doesn't work. But this one, it works.
Yeah, my dog as a child got loved by a skunk once. That was the most horrendous thing ever.
Oh, it's just so bad, so bad. We had a pool in the backyard, and we had a partial fence, and the skunk was in the front yard, and Zoe found the skunk. It was in hot pursuit on the skunk's tail, but it was so fast that the skunk didn't have a chance to react. Well, when the skunk went around the corner of the fence real quick and darted behind the pool, it had a moment. And so when Zoe like zipped around the corner, it got face first into a whole lot of it. The unfortunate part is none of the solutions do they say put around the face. They say absolutely not. So it was like, oh. We got around the neck really, really well, but her head stunk for a while.
You know, we ended up trying to use the tomato because my dad's like, oh, she needs a tomato juice bath, and I think that made it worse because then she smelled like skunk and tomatoes. You know, it was just like, okay, no. So what I did is I just took her down to the lake and brought some baby shampoo, and we just
I love that stuff.
We just played in the water all day. Scrubbed her down with baby shampoo, which she loved because she loved being scratched, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's all, and that's what it did for me. But I lived in a lake and it was summertime. I can't imagine if it happened in the winter. That would have been awful.
Yeah. It's got, and I'm trying to remember what it is. I have to look it up every time. But it's like a Dawn dish soap is in there, lemon juice is in there.
That makes sense.
I want to say peroxide, but I think I'm wrong on that part. But you end up creating this kind of a paste, kind of because of the baking soda is in there too. That's what it is. That's what I'm missing. And you make some kind of paste. You put it on them, and then you're supposed to walk them around for like 5 or 6 minutes. Which all they want to do is like drop and roll at that point with that stuff on them. Yeah, and it's like you just power through it and you walk it. And it works out pretty well.
I just like my Rhea is strictly indoor cat. Mm-hmm. Just because I don't want her getting sick and but yeah, Scout's out there and he likes to bark at stuff. So Scouts are probably more afraid of him than he is of a skunk, but still.
Yeah. I told you about my Christmas Day story, didn't I? So we were having, and I kid you not, I think 28 people coming for Christmas. And of course, they're coming in from out of town. So it doesn't mean just the one day, it's many, many, many days. So my house got to the, level 10 of cleaning, which it has never been at, kind of thing. And it's like, there was nothing left for me to clean. I was ready for everybody. It's like, go to bed exhausted. And skunk went in under the house and laid out a bomb. It's like, how do you plan for shit like that? Oh, I did it again. Stuff like that.
No, you're okay. I've been marking all my videos as for adults, so.
Okay, good. I've dropped the bomb every time.
It's all good.
Okay.
At least not Jay and dropping the F-bomb. And he's not even on the live, so man. See, the thing I like about blowing and manipulating the paint is you don't have to just blow out. You can, if you don't like a certain section and the way it's coming together, you can blow black paint back over what you don't like and work it again,
Mm-hmm.
And get it to the beat. It's just, you're manipulating the paint. And, I think it was Cheryl that mentioned watercolors. And yes, this is very reminiscent of watercolors for me because this is actually I would have loved to have this when I was doing watercolors because I like to just do drops and blow them out and see how they would react and flow. And that was really weird. That was a really weird try. I like that. The angle that's in there. I like that. I'm going to read that one. This is getting some really cool reaction. I don't like that too much, but I might.
Keep messing with this one area.
Like I said, you just drop color, and you can just sit here and play all day and just, have fun with it. And the more you play, the more you learn. That's what I always say too.
Oh, I didn't have what? That's why. Let's see if I can fix that.
I think my black is a little thicker than my white. Yeah, I like that better. I like it better.
You happy?
I'm happy with that one.
Turn off blower.
Turn it off. Well, it's got these cool little cells going on in it. Let me see if I can bring it up here. You can see it. It's got these cool little cell type things. Okay, so yes, play in your paint. Use your purple as your background. Go in with white and silver and gold and use the dark colors. Like this black. As your background and go in with bright colors. It's gonna mute. The thing with black is you don't want to use like really bright. Like I did this neon green and it kind of muted it out, which is what I wanted because I wanted it more as an accent than the actual bright colors. So play around with different colors that you normally wouldn't use. Bright greens, fuchsias, bright purples, and put it on purple. Or I've done this where I've had a dark blue background and I've done layers of blue and like a just like an ombre type Dutch board where it was all one color with accents of silver. It was really pretty color wise, but composition it sucked, so I ended up painting over it. And I haven't come back to it, and I need to because there's so much stuff. There's so many things I want to do. So and I just need to. That's one thing. I just need to take a day and just play in the paint and not worry about anything. Turn off my phone and just record and play and have fun and do that. But you just kind of and you just kind of learn to be like, okay, I need to walk away from this and let this develop and let this kind of do its thing. And I honestly, other than bloom pours, I have not scraped a painting in over a year.
Well, that's cool.
Because I've been able to learn how to manipulate the paint and to add more paint or to do something different to a corner I didn't like. So the more you practice, the more, here's the way I look at it. The more you practice, the more you learn, and the more you grow, the more therapeutic it becomes. Because then when you talk with other people that do the same thing you do, you could be like, oh, have you ever done this? And have you ever done that? And it makes you feel good to share something you love. Mm-hmm. So, that's how I look at it. I'm going to watch you do this one.
Uh-oh. Now the pressure's on. Pressure's on. Oh, correct.
No, I knew you'd be able to do this because I've watched you do it. I've watched you do something similar in resin, and I know you would be able to do this. Now the next challenge will be to bring it up a notch and do it on a bigger canvas. Start with like an 8x8 or something like that.
Oh yeah, right. Me start small. Hey, this is pretty good that I'm starting with, coasters.
Yes, I know. You're kind of balls to the wall.
Yeah, I go for the 18 by 24. Okay, let's just make this happen.
Yep. Yep, you got it. I knew you would.
Aw.
I had faith in you. But yeah, now you can let this dry. I would let it dry for about 3 days before going, depending on how humid it is.
Okay.
Here I wait 3 days to a week, depending on if it's raining or not and how humid it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then I clear coat it, wait a couple more days for that to off gas and cure a little bit. So at least 3 days, and then I hit it with resin. So
Okay.
That's why coasters take so long, is because I gotta wait for all the stuff to cure. And it's not just dry that you go for; it's cure, because otherwise it's gonna continue to off gas and cure, even after you put the resin on top of it, and that's when you're gonna get the lifting, and you're gonna get all those issues. And people say, "Oh, it's dry in 24 hours, so I put all the stuff on it." I'm like, yeah, but in a year, that all that stuff is gonna start lifting, because you didn't allow for the curing to happen. So I learned my lesson a long time ago when I was painting furniture. Just be patient.
Yep.
Give it. I mean, really. I mean, to wait a week to have it last for 50 more years, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Evelyn is here, and Mary Lou is here, and Shannon I think it's Shannon. So Shannon, that's Coco Cooner. I'm horrible with names, y'all. I named my children, and I can't remember their names.
Well, you got one of the mods, Mac or something like that, and he always does a bot here and stuff. Who's that?
Oh, the StreamYard bot?
Yes, Stream Elements. Yeah.
Stream Elements? That's the bot that when someone does an artist boost or something like
who's
that.
the person that behind Stream Elements?
No one. It's a bot.
Oh, it's a program.
It's a program.
Oh, okay, I feel better.
And I can't change the name on it. I was going to make it like, the Rhea bot or something like that. But I can't change it. So I have to go to it. I would have to go to a different program, which is VMix, which is $1,000, and I don't have that kind of money. So, and Frank can't handle VMix. I did a trial with him, and he just about exploded. So he's like, "Don't ever! I'm spitting this out. Don't ever feed Matt to me again." We have an 8-year-old child in the house. Uh-oh.
Yeah, my kids gave me a hard time when, being, they wanted to say words and stuff, that they learned from school, all the bad words and stuff. Nope. and then later on, after they reached a certain age, then we started cussing around them, and they're like, oh, they're so shocked. I'm like, what they don't know is as soon as they go to bed, we talk normal. That kind of thing. And we wanted you to show and learn restraint before you start using this stuff. I'm like, it's okay around us. We're being, fun, and it's just between us, but it's not you don't do it around your boss. You don't do it around your teachers.
No.
That kind of thing.
Oh, we cussed constantly when I was kids. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know they cuss at school. I'm not stupid.
Like whatever. I mean, I had a rule that you couldn't use adult words until you were an adult. And now my daughter's 22 and she swears like a sailor. So I'm like, okay, I taught her well. So yeah. But anywho, those look amazing. You are a very good student. Holy,
Oh,
you can tell you're used to working in resin because you work really fast. I only got 3.
oh, do you really? That's funny.
But I'm okay with that because I've got I've got plenty of coasters to finish off already. I don't need any more.
Now this
So
one I hit pretty close with the heat, and so I got a lot of those little freckles in it.
yep,
But this one I was a little further away from the heat,
yep,
so I didn't get as many, and I'm
yep,
okay with that.
yep,
I like a little bit, but not a ton.
yep. And you're using pure Amsterdam paint, so you got a lot of that lacing and a lot of that, um, a lot of the cell creation. Where mine is not so much titanium, but I do have the little lacing, just a little bit here and there. Because my white is the same white that I was using last night, where it's kind of a conglomeration of white and iridescent medium, and it's not, the titanium is so diluted in it that I knew I wasn't going to get a lot of cells, but I just wanted the movement and I wanted, the lines and stuff. So I knew I was
Evelyn called me on called me out on a that's what she said thing. I don't even know what I said, but
All right. So next week we are going to be doing resin. You know what we're going to be doing in resin, Clara?
we're gonna play around with heat guns and torches to bring out effects in resin.
Okay.
So, like people do galaxies or other colors, and they want them dispersed, that kind of thing, and how to do that with the heat gun.
Okay.
Yeah, get to know your tools a little bit more.
Yeah, that's knowing I always say knowing your brushes is key, and with resin it's your heat that's your brush. With acrylic pouring it's your cup and your air manipulation, even your own breath with a straw, or if you blow it directly. I'm not very good at that.
Yeah.
So yeah, just that'll be awesome to do that. Tomorrow night, Friday night, is Friday Night Flip Cup with my pal Brooke. So be sure to join us for that. Hopefully YouTube will be all situated and have their crap figured out. So
well, it seems like it went pretty good this morning. Have you guys had an okay time with the video?
I haven't seen anything. That's why I brought the chat up, because I wanted to make sure that we didn't have the same issues this morning that we did last night, and people are talking and having a good time. So apparently, broken YouTube is fixed for now. Don't quote me on that though. So but I am grateful for you, Clara, to come in and spend a portion of your morning with us and learn.
Absolutely.
And have fun and create some beautiful art and some mischief and some silliness, because we all need that in our life right now. But I will be posting the link. Hang on, let me see if I can do it right now. Hang on. Here is the Carapalooza application form for the Carapalooza charity art auction. It is a little detailed, and it is like 5 pages, but it's it's not hard. It's like your name, address, telephone number, art, pictures. Do you agree to this and that and the other thing? And then done. It just it seems like a lot, but it's really not a lot. It's just all the information that I need to market this. So we want to have as big a turnout as we can and raise as much. I would like to see us raise $2,000 for this charity, but we'll see how it goes.
Oh, I'll be there.
Absolutely. You're one of the moderators. You better be there.
Besides that part, I'm just talking about the whole support part, because I believe in it too. Yeah,
I know you do. And I'm so grateful for all of those people that show up to everything every day. You guys are here, and I am so grateful for you all. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for hanging out.
And have a great day. Remember, be kind to one another. Peace, love, and happiness.
Later, y'all.